Observe this specific patrol, a destroyer, detached. 100 nautical miles from its mothership, a supercarrier. Such positioning remains far from arbitrary. It represents a critical operational distance. It defines a boundary. The paradox is immediate. The most powerful warship, the carrier, retreats. It minimizes its signature. A smaller, ostensibly weaker vessel, the destroyer, pushes forward. It enters the contested space. Human courage holds no place here. Cold calculus governs the movement. The equations demand this posture. Conventional wisdom states superior firepower dictates forward deployment, yet that assumption is flawed. What specific operational variable, what precise constraint forces this seemingly counterintuitive risk allocation? Why does the underlying cost-benefit analysis necessitate the carrier's withdrawal and the destroyer's advance into the threat? Traditional power projection relies on the carrier battle group. It has been the apex predator of the blue water ocean. This model assumes open sea lanes and predictable long-range threats. Those foundational assumptions crumble in contested littoral zones. The entire operational equation changes. A carrier's kinetic power remains immense, unsurpassed. Its survivability, however, becomes a direct function of standoff distance, exponential, proximity to shore when the battle space constricts. Every mile closer to shore, the risk profile escalates geometrically, not incrementally. The battle space narrows. Consider the South China Sea or the Persian Gulf. These are not open oceans. They are geographically constrained, defined by choke points like Hormuz or Malacca. Shallow depths limit subsurface maneuver. Dense civilian maritime traffic complicates every calculation. Each vessel becomes potential cover or a passive sensor node. Detection is simplified in these littoral zones. Evasion is not a matter of speed, but of available geometry. The ambient clutter provides effective concealment for smaller, distributed threats. Simultaneously, it denies the vast, unrestricted maneuver space essential for high-value surface combatants. This environment itself is a force multiplier for one side, a critical constraint for the other. The cost-benefit analysis of deploying large capital ships into such density changes drastically. The adversary deploys not individual weapons, but an integrated system. Their anti-access/area denial network is a calculated construct of layered defenses, each designed for a specific engagement profile. Coastal missile batteries form the outer perimeter, denying close-in approach. Fast attack craft saturate the surface, complicating escort defense. Submarines prowl the depths, targeting the subsurface void. UAVs provide persistent overhead surveillance, feeding targeting data. Every component functions as a node in a broader sensor-to-shooter network. These nodes initiate a kill chain, and every chain possesses a critical latency, a window of opportunity or vulnerability that must be exploited or denied. The enemy's objective is precise. Exploit the operational signature of high-value assets. A carrier emits, possessing a high radar cross-section and radiating a significant heat signature. Its electromagnetic emissions act as a beacon across vast distances. A single anti-ship ballistic missile costs a fraction of a carrier. The asymmetry of cost per kill is stark. Consider the brutal arithmetic, $1 billion against 13. This equation is designed for attrition, not direct confrontation. Such an attrition model directly impacts carrier airpower projection. Naval aviation faces inherent operational constraints where strike radius is finite, and sustainment demands constant logistical input. In a contested A2/AD environment, these represent critical vulnerabilities. Aircraft launched from a deck require range and fuel, forcing operating areas further from hostile coasts. This distance compounds the problem, making tanker aircraft indispensable. Being slow, large, and undefended, they become high-value targets. A single successful intercept on a tanker neutralizes multiple strike sorties. Even advanced stealth platforms face this reality. While a low observable signature provides an edge, it does not grant impunity. They must penetrate layered defenses, evade integrated sensor networks, and contend with interceptors. The adversary fields a numerical advantage in low-cost aircraft that are expendable, whereas our assets are not. Air superiority is not a given. It is a calculated outcome, contested at a prohibitive exchange rate. That figure remains misleading. Conventional missile defense presents a fundamental systems challenge. Each interceptor functions as a singular, expensive solution. Furthermore, it remains a finite resource. The adversary exploits this constraint, centering their strategy on saturation. Swarm tactics are designed to overwhelm the defensive grid, seeking to exhaust available munitions. Smaller ships inherently suffer from limited magazine depth, with capacity quickly depleted under sustained assault. For a multi-billion-dollar carrier, the defensive burden escalates non-linearly. The cost of protecting such a high-value asset against a dense threat increases exponentially. Rather than a simple arithmetic problem, the situation represents a complex probability function. The successful interception rate against a coordinated attack is never perfect. No system guarantees 100% efficacy. Even a 90% kill chain against 100 incoming threats permits 10 penetrations. That margin is unacceptable. A single missile, if it connects, can compromise or neutralize the entire platform. Such represents the brutal arithmetic of modern naval warfare. We do not gamble on probabilities with national assets. Naval power calculus extends beyond capital ships and missile salvos. Not every strategic problem demands a multi-billion-dollar solution. Consider the littoral combat ship or similar modular platforms. Its design intent deviates from blue water combat. This vessel thrives where larger assets struggle. The shallow, complex near-shore environment. Its comparatively small signature serves as an operational advantage. High speed and agile maneuverability prove critical in congested littorals. This platform operates on a different economic logic, embracing rapid reconfigurability. Mission packages swap for specialized tasks, mine countermeasures, or anti-submarine warfare in acoustically challenging zones. These constitute focused, critical operations. The killer metric remains cost per hour on station. For sustained presence in a contested littoral, it delivers an optimized equation. High operational tempo paired with lower capital expenditure provides persistent eyes and ears, where the risk-to-reward ratio for a larger warship becomes unsustainable. This constitutes resource optimization, not brute force. A multi-layered defense architecture provides the optimal solution framework. The first stratum, detect and deter. This involves smaller, stealthier platforms establishing forward presence. These units gather critical intelligence while projecting uncertainty into enemy decision cycles. With no clear target and no assured engagement, this initial layer shapes the battle space before conflict escalates, imposing a cost on early aggression. The second stratum, deny and defend. Dispersed small ships, integrated with land-based assets, establish a comprehensive defensive screen. Such positioning forces enemy overextension and fragments their targeting solutions, rendering their resource allocation inherently inefficient. The third stratum, destroy and dominate. Carrier strike groups operating at maximum standoff deliver precision strikes against critical enemy nodes. This phase activates only after the immediate threat envelope has been sufficiently degraded by the preceding layers. The decisive variable for the entire system, the one that defines success or failure, remains detection latency. How quickly can an adversary acquire, track, and target a high-value asset? That represents the core operational challenge. We do not gamble. We calculate probabilities. The preceding layers define the operational environment. Yet what dictates the allocation of maximum risk? The critical parameter is the detection cost. It's not about avoiding damage, it's about making enemy targeting prohibitively expensive. This necessitates a seemingly counterintuitive exposure of less valuable assets. Defensive outlays for a single high-value target in a constrained battle space escalate exponentially. Every sensor, every interceptor, and every countermeasure adds to a denominator that must always exceed the numerator. The operational equation simplifies to this: threat density multiplied by signature must be less than the carrier's survivability threshold. Exceed that threshold, and the system fails. We don't worship the machine, we worship the equation.